Welcome to It's All Fine and Danjee, where we talk about community, health, culture, and all of the big and little things that make life good. Here are your hosts, Dan and Angie.
Well, hey everyone, and welcome to episode 42. Today we are recording directly from our brand new studio in Burbank, California. Okay, in an undisclosed location in Apopka, Florida.
That's right.
But we do have the brand new studio set up, so this is really neat. This is different.
Yeah, and we are recording this on January 1st, 2020. So Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone. How was your New Year?
So lame. But it was nice. Like to, we like to stay indoors on New Year's.
Yes, I know.
And I was just fine with being on the couch in my PJs, watching a show.
Me too. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. And hey, we might have started dozing off before midnight and had to keep each other awake. And then we went to bed at 12:01 a.m. Thank you very much.
But we made it. We made it to Happy New Year.
It.
And you know what? We've had years where we're out doing the partying thing. I don't like to really be out because of all the traffic. And, hopefully everyone took an Uber. But we know there's people out there that don't, sadly. And,
I don't want to be on the roads.
I don't either. And there's nothing wrong with being out doing stuff. But there's also nothing wrong with staying at home. It's funny. I saw a post on Facebook this morning that said, it was from yesterday or last night, and it said, I'm still having trouble picking out what to wear to my couch tonight. Because it was, a lot of people are just doing that.
Yeah.
But we did hear a lot of fireworks and, whatever. We've had a busy week leading up. I'm sure many of you have too with Christmas.
It was Christmas.
And what a fun Christmas it was. I love Christmas, but it was a really fun Christmas day, Christmas morning. I definitely got everything I wanted. I was surprised with AirPods. Angie got me the AirPods Pro, and she put a box inside a box inside. That's my old trick, but totally
So
worked.
I went into the Apple store, and that was the last pair they had.
I know, you told me. That's crazy.
It was a few days before Black Friday.
Yeah.
And, I love sales, but I knew if I wait for sales, you're not going to get it. And he goes, we have one box left. And I said, give them to me.
What are the chances? That's great.
And then I hit them, and then you couldn't find them anywhere and thought you were going to have to wait.
I did. So that was a really nice surprise. But anyway, it's been really busy. I've been working on the studio for the past 3 days. We've got all of the desks set up. We've got a really nice spot now for guests. Us all separate mics. Everything's all wired in. Everyone's got a boom arm and headphones, and we've had all this stuff or most of it, but it's been sort of mobile where we move around and now it's all locked in.
Yeah. And actually every guest that we have booked for January will be coming to the studio.
Oh, how cool.
So how awesome, except for the one we did last week, which is airing on January 2nd when this plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So the rest are going to be visiting us.
Well, that is awesome. And so if the sound is a little different, I'll be obsessing over it for the next 3 or 4 episodes until we get everything just right.
Yeah.
And, but we got the lighting set up in here.
Daniel did some very nice lighting. It's got a nice ambiance in here. Yeah. It looks very professional.
Yeah, I love it. And thank you. It's I'm proud of it. And we've got a green screen in here so we can do, when guests come on the air, we can do some pretty neat stuff with the background.
Yeah, and we finished up today. So we made our goal of getting it done by the first of the year.
That's right.
Which we did.
And that was my goal for 2020. So I'm all set for the rest of the year now. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it.
Totally kidding. But anyway, as we talk about the as we're going to get into with our guests what everyone's new goals are for 2020, I think it's interesting how everyone does that at the beginning of every new year. Try to reset, try to maybe course correct on some of the things that you may have drifted on the previous year, and dream up new things that
That's right.
that you can get done.
One of my new things for 2020 is I'm going to become a grandparent. I know once you find out you're going to become a grandparent, you talk about it a lot. And I'm sure once the grandbaby gets here, people are like, please shut up about your grandchild, because it's probably all you ever talk about.
Yeah, that's a big part of your life, though, I
know, but I'm very excited because I got my signed copy of the Silly Yaya book. That has the grandparent names in there. And so we can write our grandparent names in there, which is cool.
And that book was so good, by the way. I knew it was going to be. Yeah.
And in the illustrations, we talked about that when I was looking through it. It is very much meant to draw children into that book.
Yeah.
And I love it. So thank you, Violet, for my signed copy of Silly Yaya. I'm very excited, and I will be adding the other books to the collection. We're going to have a little bookshelf at the house that has 3 levels, and one's going to be for Dan's books,
right,
as his novel collection grows of books that he writes.
Yep.
We're going to have another one that's called Health on the Shelf. Oh, you like that? I do.
You better patent that quick.
I know. And the other one's going to be Our Readers, Our Leaders. And that's for the
great.
baby.
I love it. We should buy Health on a Shelf if it's not taken.
We totally should. And I'm going to, don't even think about it, people, because I'm getting online right now, and you don't even hear this till Thursday, so you can't steal it.
Oh, boy.
And then, you know what we did, though, is, I got you this homemade present where I did dates for a year, or Christmas for a year.
That was the coolest thing. And just so you guys know, this is a great thing. You could steal this idea. But she basically had me open a package that had sealed envelopes for every month through the whole rest of the year. 1 month might be an actual gift in the envelope. 1 month might be a date that's already planned and paid for. One might be, I don't know, you'd have to tell me, Angie, because I don't even know. It's just like a surprise.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you because I'll give it away. But yeah, there's all sorts of little interesting things in those envelopes.
Right.
Anyway, but your very first date, guess what we did?
We forgot to go.
We forgot to go.
You know why? Because I was working on the studio.
Oh my gosh. So I had planned for the Publix aprons cooking and wine pairing that they do. And 7:30 came and I all of a sudden went,
you know,
oh my God, what time is it?
I know it's disappointing, but we'll make it up for it. We'll do it.
Oh my gosh. They have, Publix hasn't called me back yet. So I'm going to have to call them again and see if they can reschedule it for me.
Indeed.
Anyway, and then this week I found out what was wrong, what's going on with my hip. So I think I've mentioned before, had to get that needle down in my hip and get an MRI.
Yep.
And I do actually have a tear in there. So it's a little more serious than we even thought, possibly.
I know.
So be doing some
PT
on it starting this week, and hopefully getting my muscles strengthened up, and hopefully we can do some correction the natural way instead of any surgery. So
right. Very scary, but I agree with you. That's a good plan.
Anyway, I'll be fine, though. I'll be fine. But that's it for this and that. And we have a great interview with a local gym coming up. So we're excited to have them on. Stay tuned for our community call out. We will be right back with you. Hey guys, welcome back to our community call out. The start of a new year is here, and that usually comes with lots of New Year's resolutions, many revolving around becoming healthier.
Indeed.
Today's guests are owners of a local gym that can help you with those 2020 health goals. Lisa and Scott Warchol are owners of Burn Boot Camp right here in our hometown of Apopka, Florida. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for sitting down with us this Saturday morning.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
You are
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Well, first, we like to get to know our guest a little bit. We've already been chatting, but if you could just tell our audience a little bit about yourself personally, maybe.
Sure. You want to go first?
Sure, I will.
All right. Scott is up.
Yes. Okay. Well, prior to moving down here, I lived in Charlotte for 16 years, and I worked in the NASCAR industry.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yes. Building.
Beautiful North Carolina.
Yes,
We love it.
Yes. It was really, really beautiful up there.
It's probably hard to leave, right?
It was.
Very.
It was.
So what did you do for NASCAR?
I was a part of a pit crew for a few years, and
Oh my gosh,
also
that
building
sounds fun.
building the race cars at the same time, and traveling the country every week.
Wow. It sounds exciting and exhausting.
Yes, it was pretty repetitive after a while, because you leave on a Thursday afternoon, you get home Sunday evening,
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
you work for 3 days, and then you go and do it all over again.
Wow.
wow.
It's like being in a band or something, right?
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can compare that to that.
Can you tell us who you worked with? What pit crew you were on?
I worked with a few teams and many drivers.
Cool.
Drivers from Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott.
Cool.
Kevin Harvick is the last team I was on, and we won the championship in 2014, and I won the Daytona 500 with Trevor Bain back in 2011. So
Oh, wow.
it was
Interesting. How old were you when you started that?
in racing. I was 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So some people grow up in it. That seems
Yes.
like it was a little bit later in life that you got
I went,
involved.
Yeah, I went to automotive school for college and got the knowledge of, just in general mechanics and stuff like that. And then you start on a small race team, and then you work your way up. And then eventually I moved from New Jersey down to North Carolina in 2002.
Right.
And
Cool.
from there, you work your way up.
Yeah. Network and
Yes.
meet new people.
Yes.
And you
Very
just kept-
interesting. That's not what I was going to. I would never have guessed that's what you were going to tell me your background was.
So I got to
that's
know,
super
what did you
interesting.
think I did?
Well, of course, like personal training or
Right.
something like that. So
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
That
Very
is. So
cool.
you just kept moving south.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So I told her next time it'll be the Caribbean that we're going to move to.
I guess
Okay,
so.
I will
I'm
not
on board
argue
for
with that.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Lisa, what about you?
Okay, so I'm actually originally from outside of Philadelphia. Go Eagles.
I have a few people that will be happy to hear that.
Well, yay, I like them. They're good people. I went to college at Westchester University to become an elementary school teacher. Graduated, and then right out of college, I decided I didn't want to stay right where I was from and took a leap of faith and actually moved right here to Altamont Springs.
Wow. That's a huge leap.
Yeah, it was.
A culture shock from one area to the next,
It
right?
was. I left 4 seasons. I just, I wanted to see what else was out there.
Yeah.
So a girlfriend and I, we came down here, we interviewed, we got hired on the spot. And 2 weeks later, we were driving from Pennsylvania to Central Florida.
And so you moved
Wow.
with a girlfriend and you guys lived together. And so
we
it was-
did. We got an apartment. We became third grade teachers together. So I taught third grade right around the corner at English Estates Elementary School.
Right.
And I was there for about 5 years. And then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I see the
So
connection
here's
here.
the connection.
And then here comes the connection.
Right.
Probably a few years later, we met in 2015, March.
Okay.
Yep.
16.
16.
Okay.
2016.
So a few years ago. All right.
And the rest is history.
That is really cool. So that I wouldn't have thought that was your background either. So it's really cool when you meet people and can just hear their story and where they were and where they are now. So when did you both discover your passion for fitness, health, and wellness?
So fitness is something we both were always passionate about. We always exercised, did things on our own. I was always into all the beach body things, always looking for
cool.
the next best thing. Our first date actually was an 8-mile walk.
Well,
Oh, my goodness.
Well, in North Carolina, like you could walk
That's
forever up
beautiful.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. And that was just something we were always passionate about. We actually were members of a burn boot camp in Charlotte, North Carolina, where burn originated. And then it kind of just hit us one day that we wanted to actually get into it ourselves.
Very cool. Now, do either of you have a background in the field, or was it just a passion for what Burn Boot Camp was doing?
Actually, we were looking for a change of pace. We kind of just fell out of love with our careers and wanted something that that would excite us and something that we were passionate about.
Yeah, and something that kind of changes every day, right?
And it sounds like you guys had that in common right away, that you both were into health and fitness, at least for your own lives, right?
Correct.
So you already started mentioning kind of there was a burn boot camp out there in North Carolina. Burn boot camp has a pretty cool story about how it started in general. Can you talk about that a bit? Maybe let our audience know how that came to be, and then when you guys decided, hey, we're going to do this ourselves.
Well, Burn Boot Camp started in 2014, I think.
14 or 15.
Yeah,
so,
20,
yeah.
And Devin Klein, he's the CEO. Him and his wife started up Burn Boot Camp. They started with very little money. Devin was no-showed at 2 camps that he tried to put together.
Oh, meaning nobody came?
Nobody came.
Oh, wow.
I bet he still did the workout, though.
He had people confirm that they were going to be there. And they didn't show up. So,
Okay, okay.
he was down to his last $600, so he had a little, I guess, reality check on different things that he had to do in order to get the people to show up there and see his product, to see how well it'll be for them.
Right.
So he started his first gym in Huntersville, and then other people started taking notice, like, wow, I like this.
Yeah.
I like how you work. I like how you interact with the people and actually care and show the accountability and stuff like that. So people started branching off, and they started to franchise.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And people started talking from that first camp. That's how you get more people showing up, right?
So they started franchising about 5 years ago, and right now they're above 225.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So I think I see where you guys found interest because you were living where the first one started, right?
We lived near that one.
Right.
There's about 16 in the Charlotte area.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So in order for us to open one, we had to move.
Yes.
We had to
was that the catalyst for why you moved?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So there was a wish list actually for where, when we bought into the franchise, they gave us a wish list as to where they wanted a location to open up. And after crunching numbers and looking at demographics, Apopka just made sense. So I got a text message from Scott one day. So we're going to Apopka. I'll explain later. I was
that was it.
I love it.
I mean, you knew where Apopka was because you lived right next door and taught right next door. But most people, you say that word and they're like, what?
Well, I love the sense of adventure, though. I mean, you guys had already been used to moving, I guess, and that was kind of continuing the trend. And as someone who was born in Apopka, I'm still here. I love hearing those stories where you're just like, you know what, we're going to risk it all and go try something new.
It's the weirdest thing too, because I originally picked Apopka, and I've never stepped foot in Apopka in my life.
Yeah,
I've been to like Orlando, like airport, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being close by in Daytona for racing. Never stepped foot in Apopka.
Yeah,
you never heard of it even.
Yeah, with our list, it just made sense. You look at the demographics. You also have to look at where you would like to live as well.
Yeah, of course.
We're beach people. We like the beach, so we want that
You're
little
not
closer.
that far away.
Correct.
Yeah,
you have the beautiful springs around here. I'm not sure if you've visited any
yes,
yet,
we have.
but good. I mean, that's one of the things that we tell everybody: do not miss the springs when you're in this area, because
we are
there's nothing like that, right?
We are chronic kayakers all over the place in Florida here. So.
And it's like seeing the waterfalls when you go to North Carolina or taking a hike in the mountains. That's something you have to do. Like the city is great, but you have to explore the nature, the natural environment, right?
You see the changing of the leaves. It's beautiful.
Oh, you mean in North Carolina? Yes.
Yes, correct.
Here you don't get so much of that.
No, so we had just went up in October, actually, and we were so excited, but they said that the leaf change was a little postponed this year.
A little late.
So we got a little bit of it, but
wave.
not, it was warm when we were up there. It got a little chilly, and it rained the last part of the few days we were there, but we didn't get those gorgeous colors that you normally
not the
get.
full blown.
Not the full blown. We got some. But
sorry, you definitely need to go back to see it.
We go every year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I've went to upstate New York once for leaf season, and it is amazing. Just seeing that, it's like being from Florida. To me, it was like seeing a Thanksgiving card or a postcard everywhere with all those colors. So
in Florida, you get green or brown. That's the only color.
That's okay with me. I like the look.
You want the green all year round, too.
I like that.
Because you got the sunshine, right? So can you tell us what makes you guys unique?
Well, we have several differentiators that we offer. The first starts out with when you walk into our gym, you see our floating floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just for the listeners, we're sitting in the gym right now, and it's really neat. It looks like a stage that takes up this whole big gym.
So this big mat reminds me of when I was younger and a gymnast, because this is kind of like the mat you would see in gymnastics. Yes.
It is.
That's what it is. Okay, perfect. What makes that different than any other gym?
So there's actually thousands of foam blocks underneath the floor, which is great for like impact and the high intensity camps that we do.
Sure.
So it prevents injuries.
My daughter was in cheerleading and all kind of gym stuff growing up too, but this is like, it's 8 or 10 inches thick. It actually looks like a stage. So
yeah.
That's
and when you get on it, you can feel
the bounce that it gives. So when you're on it and you're doing the high intensity that we do in here, it definitely gives you more air, and it feels like you're lifting up off the ground.
Makes the workouts more fun, probably.
It does.
And it also helps absorb a lot of that shock, because as many times as you're jumping, especially on our plyo days and stuff like that, it helps absorb a lot of that shock.
Yeah.
And it's easier on your body. Plus, it's still firm enough. We actually run on it as well.
Yeah. And in the long run, a lot of times when we're younger and working out, we don't think of, 20 years down the road, what kind of impact we're having on our joints and, the inside of our body. We're just worried about what the outside looks like, right? Correct. And feeling good. So tell us a little bit about your workouts, what people can expect from them, and what time do you do your workouts here?
We have a set schedule that we go off of. We have we start as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. We have a 5 a.m., a 5:30, 6:30, 8:30, and 9:30 in the morning, and then we're closed for like the bulk of the day and open back up in the evenings, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 p.m.
So you can go before or after work.
Correct.
Basically. Nice. Mm-hmm.
And you do have a target clientele here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We focus towards women.
Right.
And we do offer free child watch. So that's included whether you're on trial or a membership.
That's a plus for,
exactly.
for moms.
So sometimes, if you can't find care for your child, it's hard for you to get to go to the gym. Well, now we provide that child care for you.
Yeah.
So that definitely sets us aside as well.
Yeah.
Indeed,
and you guys do something unique in the little, the childcare area, right? You try to get the children focused on health and wellness too, working out.
We do. We will incorporate some kids camps, some family camps. We actually just had one on Christmas Eve. We had a family camp going. It was great just to see all the smiles on the faces and the kids working out and working with families. And we just love to watch and see that.
Yeah, I love that. Getting away from those gadgets for a minute.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then they don't feel that separation. They see that what mom is doing, what dad is. I mean, dad was here probably, moms and dads.
Correct.
Family workout.
So men can work out as well here, just only at certain times.
Okay.
And what Burn likes to do is create a safe and comfortable environment for women to work out in because not every woman likes to work out with men.
Yes.
So it just creates a safe and comfortable environment for women to work out in.
That's great.
That.
That's great.
Yes, and also getting to those differentiators that we were talking about. We also offer a meeting called a focus meeting. When someone comes in, they set an appointment for that, and they will talk about, what are your goals? Why are you here? Okay. And they'll talk about nutrition, give them nutrition guidance. Our trainers will give nutrition guidance to our clients. And so when we tell people that you can't out-train a bad diet.
That's true.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great point. Well, you're sort of leading into this, but I was going to ask how you sort of tailor. Do you have specific ways that you tailor a workout towards someone's goals?
A lot of that will be done through nutrition as well. Okay. So they'll help give nutrition guidance, okay? And then we'll also get their body diagnostics. We'll get their height, weight, BMI, their body fat percentage, okay?
Yeah. Lean
and
body
then,
mass.
Yes. And then what a client will do is set a focus meeting about every 3 or 4 weeks so they see their progress over that span.
Oh, nice.
Instead of going home and stepping on a scale every day because it messes with the mind.
We always tell them not to do that.
You get defeated doing that pretty quick,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Stay off the scale. Now, who do they meet with? Do they meet with your trainers?
They meet with the trainers.
Okay.
Now, and that's more as a way to get more personable with the trainer, just because we do work out in a group setting. That's more of a one-on-one focus, so the trainer can get to know the client individually and vice versa.
Yep. I would assume that in that meeting, that initial meeting as well, if someone has physical limitations, that's where they get advice on how to change up the workout when they're in here doing it with everyone.
We also offer modifications for every exercise. When the trainer is explaining what the workout is for the day and what a specific exercise is, they will also show you a given modification for that exercise.
I love that. As someone who has, I have issues with my lower back, I love to hear that it's tailored if you have a limitation, because sometimes you don't know what to do otherwise when everyone's doing a workout you can't do.
Correct. So they will show you a modification to do. It's if you have a back issue or a knee injury or something that, we've
the hips.
Like I said, we focus on women. So if you're postpartum and, you're just getting back into the swing of things, there's modifications for everything. And if you still don't feel comfortable with that modification, you can do something else. You can find the trainer, wave them down and say, I still don't feel comfortable. And they'll find something else for you to do to still get an effective workout.
And I'm sure your trainers are very keen on seeing if somebody's not able to do something, they jump in and show them how to do it differently. So we'd love to know a little bit more about your team. Can you tell us who you have here as your trainers and maybe what they do?
Sure. So our head trainer, her name is Johnny Turney. We found her off of Indeed.com. She kind of just stumbled up.
Our friend Jennifer loves her.
Into our lives. Yes, she is amazing. She has an amazing impact on us, our members, everybody who walks through our doors. She's our face. You're going to see her on Facebook Lives, bopping around in here, just smiling. And I mean, everybody's just fell in love with her.
Nice. Did you say our friend Jennifer Court?
Jennifer Court goes
wow.
here.
What a small world.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's actually going to be on the show in a week or two because of the success that she's had with all of her exercise and workouts.
Yes,
the past
so Lisa and I were talking about Jennifer. We're talking about you, Jennifer.
Yeah,
that's right.
Before, and just her positive energy and just look out on life. I mean, she's just...
And her progress. I mean, my goodness, you know.
She has more energy than anybody. Person. I don't understand it. Like, and she's made me cry. Like, we talked about this. She's made me cry with her posts so many times because they're so inspirational. They make me look at myself and
she
go...
can make you cry just by looking at her.
Oh, my gosh.
She's got that special touch.
Yeah.
We also have a support trainer. Her name is Katie, who you also know.
Again, Katie Slater.
Small world. We met Katie a few months ago. We had another support trainer leave. She was pregnant and was, needed to rest and take care of herself and her little one. So we brought Katie on a couple months ago. As soon as we met Katie and her personality, we just knew she was a great fit for us, and we brought her on. And our members absolutely love her as well.
Yeah,
she's been great. We have some team of child watch workers. Their backgrounds are amazing, working with children, and they do such wonderful things with the children who walk through our doors each day. They do crafts with them.
They love it too.
Yeah, the kids absolutely love them, and they really have fun when they come to Burn.
That's awesome.
They can't wait to go back.
So what does Katie do as a support trainer? Tell us what a support trainer does.
So Katie, she does the exact same thing that Janice does. She just doesn't have as much hours.
Okay.
So she trains on Tuesday evenings and Wednesday mornings.
Oh, cool.
And she will be picking up Friday mornings.
Awesome. So have you expanded your hours since you've opened?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about the response since you opened.
We opened up. So when we first opened up, our earliest camp was at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
We since then opened a 5 a.m. camp, and that is also co-ed. So all of our camps are women only, except for the 5:30 and the 6:30 p.m. camps I told you about. And now the 5 a.m. camp that we recently opened up, that's open to men too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback from our members. Like, I would come here if you had something earlier, or something like that.
Yeah.
That accepted the co-ed camp.
Okay, so we have maybe a lot of couples that are coming together. Are we finding that?
Yes. So with the women who first started, they went home and talked about Burn and what they did every day.
Yeah.
And the husbands would say, "Oh, okay, well, let me see what you do and come in." And the wives would bring their husbands in,
and then they get a little surprise because they see that they can't keep up half the time.
Oh, that's correct.
I would also imagine they want to come in because they're seeing the progress that their spouse is making, and they want the same kind of progress for themselves.
That is correct. We actually just had a husband join of one of our clients, and he's already down 20, 30 pounds.
That's amazing.
And he hasn't been here
4 months.
That is great. Mm-hmm. And he's losing the weight in a healthy way. He's gaining muscle. Endurance. That's great.
Well, it's just great to see the families work out together, and we love when couples come in because that's how we started.
Sure.
Yeah, doing it together.
So that's an inspiring sort of story. Are there others? Is there maybe another example or two of an inspiring story with a member? And of course, no names if you don't want, but just a story you might want to share with us?
We've had a few actually since we've opened, and we haven't even been open that long. We've been open at the end of April, and we've seen a few people just, if they're willing to put the effort in and they're willing to make the changes and they're willing to stay consistent and committed, we've seen a lot of changes in our members and who have made a significant amount of progress since they've started with us.
Right.
That's
in what
awesome.
seems like a relatively short amount of time.
Yes. And also when you see these people every day come in, after a while, you sort of forget what they look like when they first came in.
Sure.
And
maybe what their energy levels were and everything.
Yes. And,
wow.
And then one girl, I said something to her a few weeks ago. I'm like, wow, you really have made a really good transformation. And she's like, oh, thank you. That's awesome. And I was like, well, you're awesome. I mean, sometimes you just forget where they started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And because that they are taking what they've learned here and they're applying it at home as well. Because just like you've said in the beginning, you can't outrun a bad diet, right? So they're taking what you've taught them here and they're applying it in their life at home.
Yes.
And it's so important to do that.
You
in
have
order
to
to see these results that these clients are getting. It's so important to incorporate it in home, outside of the gym, as well as in.
Yeah.
I love that you guys focus on that because I think that's something that we miss sometimes, where I'm working out, I'm biking, I'm doing all this, I'm not really losing weight, but you're still eating a bad diet. And I think that's a good way to put it. You can't outrun that no matter how much workout you do. If you're not eating right, you're
counteracting what you're doing in the gym.
That's right. And as a health and wellness coach, that's what you run into most of the time. They don't, people starve themselves, or they think they just got to eat such a little amount of calories. And you tell them the opposite. No, you're working out 3 times a day. Okay, well, you need to eat this much. And they're like, oh, I can't eat that much. And you're like, yes, you have to.
I like to use analogies a lot with things I like to explain, but say if you get in your car and I tell you to drive to Atlanta on a quarter tank of gas, are you going to make it?
No, of course not.
Because there's no fuel. It's the same thing with your body. If there's no fuel, you're not going to get to where you want to go.
That's right.
But you want the right kind of fuel too. That's
darn right.
Thing.
Yeah, put the right fuel in there so that you have the energy to get through that workout. Excuse me.
Exactly. And that's where our focus meetings come in, again, where you sit with a trainer and understand, I actually was one of those people. I used to be a marathon runner. So when I was done running, I would run 18, 20 miles. I'd come home and think I earned my cookies and my cake. But that's just not the case.
That's right. So I've talked to Dan before about anytime you go to, a 5K or a marathon, anything, look at the food that is offered after you get done running. It's pizza, it's beer, because you earned it, right?
Right.
And, the company I used to work for, which Katie was with, we would set up at those events.
With healthy food.
And we would get swamped because you had something.
Because people that know that, people that are really into their health and wellness know that you might have a cheat day once in a while, but it's not,
This shouldn't be the regular.
At the end of every exercise.
That's right. I love how you said that, though. I earned it. I'm having cake this week, baby. Yeah. So, guys, 2020 is coming up, and we, this month we're kind of focusing on goals because that's what January is usually about, right? What are your goals for Burn Boot Camp for 2020?
Our goals
hopefully a lot of them, right?
Sure. To transform as many lives as we can, to start with. We have a promo coming up, and, we have new people.
Yeah. What's that promo that you have coming up for 2020?
That is called Raise the Bar.
Raise the Bar. Love it.
It's a 6-week program that starts January 6th. Mm-hmm. And
where does it run through?
February 15th.
Okay.
So it's 6 weeks for $99. It's a great deal. And we don't want anyone to pass it up.
Yeah.
Come on in and, new year, time to focus on you
and keep it up throughout the year.
Correct.
Because we all do really great. I think it's average, 3 months or something. The first 3 months, everybody does great. And then we fall off and we go right back into those patterns that got us in a situation.
Right.
Exactly. So
we want to keep it up.
It's important to stay consistent and dedicated. And, you're the most important person. In order to take care of other people in your life, you got to take care of you first.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think it's important to, there are so many different gyms out there. It's important for people to find where they fit in, right? And I know our friend has talked about she has found where she fits in here at Burn Boot Camp. And she raves. She raves. So she's found where her spot is. This is what she's been looking for to keep her on track. So I think it's important for people to find that. And I think ladies and gentlemen, if you come to a workout at Burn Boot Camp, you will see the energy here and you'll love the workouts here.
Yeah.
Now, can people come in and try a class out? Do you have days where they can do that for free to see if they like it?
So we always offer a 14-day test drive. So people can come in and try us out for 14 days for free. Just to get acclimated with the workouts and meet our trainers, meet our staff, and really see if it's a good fit for them.
Yeah. Did the 14-day test drive, did that come from you?
No, that's from our.
Is it?
I see what you mean. Yes.
Hey, it just fit. I was like, wait a minute. Where did that come from?
And I'm so sharp this morning. Test drive. I get it now.
Get it.
So that Raise the Bar promo link, for those of you listening, we'll put link in the show notes. You can scroll down on whatever device you're listening to get to the website for Burn Boot Camp and any of the information that we're talking about as well.
Yeah. Can you guys, just one more question. Can you tell us how many members you have here? now?
We have around 175, 180.
Wow, that's really great. Since April.
Yes.
Very awesome.
And all those... We just turned, 8 months, I guess?
Yeah. And all those classes are full. Are they pretty full?
Yeah, well, it depends on the day.
And the time, probably.
And the time, yes.
Yeah. Morning classes are pretty full, though?
Our 5:30 a.m. is pretty rocking.
Really?
Yeah, people want to get in before work. And Yep.
That's when you're killing it, getting up early, getting your exercise done, and then going on to work.
They're called the Rooster Crew.
So you guys are obviously very passionate about helping people. Are there any organizations that you are passionate about helping, either your time or monetary donations that you might like to mention?
There's actually been a few. When we first opened up, we donated to the homeless in Apopka. So I got in touch with a woman by the name of Kelly, and she just does a great deal for the homeless population in Apopka. She provides them with meals and clothes and showers and haircuts.
Cool.
And so
we'd love to get her information after the show from
absolutely.
You.
So our clients, we collected a whole bunch of different food and non-perishable items, and we donated those. And then once the holiday season rolled around, I knew I wanted to do something.
Right.
And then Scott had mentioned an angel tree, so I just Googled and Salvation Army popped up, and I got in touch with a woman by the name of Marjorie. She was great. She kind of led me in the direction of what I needed to do and how to get signed up. And I asked my members who was interested, and right off the bat, we had about 80 people say that they were very interested in doing it. We have a Christmas tree in the gym, and we hung our angels up on the tree, and by a day and a half, all the angels were taken.
Oh, wow.
And accounted for.
How many do you have on there? Do you have it?
You said,
but you had to have 80.
80.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So
and they were probably even asking for more.
Yeah. Well, they went up, we put up a half, and as soon as they were gone, we put up more. And by that time, they were already gone. And people who were away on business or travel, is there any more? And I could have gotten more, but, they did donations elsewhere. But it was just amazing to see how quickly they went and how quickly our members responded. And
I love that.
That's great.
The gifts were just pouring out onto the floor. It was amazing to see. And,
and you took pictures of all this, right?
Yeah, we do have pictures. A few days after Salvation Army came and picked up the gifts, they asked us to be on the news and interviewed us because they never saw such an amazing response from first timers before.
Yeah, that is great.
It was amazing.
That says a lot about your clients too. Though. That's great.
They're wonderful people.
Big-hearted.
We call ourselves a family because we are.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to see what they're capable of. We've also donated to several schools in the area. So when the school year started, we collected school supplies and we gave those out to different schools in the area. And then one school down the road, we actually collected food right before kids went on winter break. So for kids that, if parents work or they're not in the home and they have to stay home by themselves, it's just easy snacks for them to get on their own.
There's a real need for that in our community.
And also
so it's great.
And also when that hurricane hit, we had a drive for that, for supplies.
Great.
Wow. So it sounds like you guys are active in helping the community above and beyond just your clients.
Very active.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking to us. I'm really interested in trying to help you guys drive your business. We both are.
Even more.
And we love hearing about success stories like this, where I feel like if your intention is good, then you end up successful.
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys are seeing that. In the short time that you've been open, you've got a lot of clients and a lot of business.
Thank you so much for having us.
This was great.
Yes.
I'd love to do it again.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year to everybody, because this will be airing after the New Year.
That's right. Everybody's doing those New Year's resolutions, which is a good fit here at the Burn Boot Camp.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us, and we will be right back with the information station.
Hey guys, it's Jamie Engel of The Right Engel, and you're listening to It's All Fine and Danjee.
Hey guys, welcome back to the information station, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening to our community call out with Lisa and Scott.
They were fun.
Yeah, we were excited to have them on and learn their personal backgrounds, which I thought was really interesting for both of them.
So that was so funny because I didn't get that joke, and now re-listening to the interview, that was hilarious. That you thought the test drive thing was
from Scott's idea.
Scott's racing.
Yeah, I thought that was. I thought it was, but no, apparently that is a Burn Boot Camp phrase. So, hey. But yeah, we wish them much success. And I mean, we really don't even need to wish them that. They are very successful
they're
now.
Killing it. But yeah,
killing it.
More business is always great. And one thing we noticed after the interview, we walked over to the Publix here in town to get some groceries. And as we're waiting in line at the deli, they came in and they're stopping and talking to people throughout. So you could tell everyone knows them in town. So that was really cool to see that, they're so involved in the community.
Yeah. It's, they're walking the talk, right?
Indeed they are.
That's awesome. New Year's always come with those New Year's resolutions.
Yes, they do.
And it usually revolves around health and wellness a lot of the times.
Right.
But, finances or schooling, whatever it may be, whatever your resolutions are. Well, I like that saying, what is it? A goal without a plan is just a wish or just a dream or something like that.
Yeah, so true, though.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk about planning out my goals.
Right.
I have a bunch of things that I actually want to kind of work on things becoming more habits than even goals. Like that's kind of my goal is to get these new habits, like waking up earlier in the morning.
I could help with that. I'm always up.
I know. I need a physical shaking of the bed to wake me up.
I can get one of those air horn things if you want.
No. I said a shaking of the bed.
I could do the air horn and then I could record it and post it on our YouTube channel.
Oh, you're so funny. We can start posting your scare cams on there too.
Oh,
It'll be fabulous.
The one that's coming, or the ones I already did to you?
The one that's coming for you, buddy.
No. All right.
Everybody's looking forward to it, so it's going to happen. But anyway, I worked in retail for years, and we always talked about SMART goals, and that's one thing with me. If I do have a goal, I have to write it down with specifics. Otherwise, throw it out the window. It's not going to happen.
I love it that we talk about SMART goals at my office too. That's the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely.
Yes. And that's very easy to write. Some goals that you have, sometimes it's like, well, how do I make this?
How do I know?
Measurable. How do I measure it?
I'm going to do better this year with my diet. Well, that's not measurable.
Yeah,
how do you know?
That's the thing. You have to give it some details so that you can make it a SMART goal.
Exactly.
So exactly. So some of my goals for this year, I wanted to talk about like the podcast, our business, and personal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and we talked about doing that. I like that.
Yeah. Because, we have those 3 separate areas of things that we work on. They don't kind of all mesh together.
They don't always. Yeah.
So for our podcast, I want it to be booked out 3 months, which I'm already ahead of the game on that one because I'm booked through March. So I want to consistently be looking for new people on the show, new businesses that are opening, new charities, events going on in the area. So I want to be booked out.
Right.
So I think I'm headed in the right direction on that one. And then I also want us to attend at least 3 events this year. So remember how I talked about us booking events where we go set up like a vendor booth and a tent or, something, to that effect. So 3 events this year is our goal. Because we know that we already do a lot of traveling and stuff for the show. Yeah. So I think 3 is a good goal. And then for my personal business, for Forever in Health, I want to do at least 1 social media post each week.
Yeah.
And I got to get more creative like you do for our podcast of creating these little pictures and little, or just a little tidbit of information about cooking in the kitchen, something. I've got to start posting, but I don't want an overabundance. So I think a good goal for me, what I would like if I was on a website or got emails from somebody would be 1 a week. That's good.
Yeah, I think so too. And I appreciate that. And I'm happy to show you how I do that. I don't think I'm a pro at it, but I have fun with the artsy side of it.
Yeah. And then something else is I want to make sure I'm doing a monthly blog. And then I have another idea for bringing health and wellness education into people's homes.
Yeah.
As far as like group classes and stuff. So I'm going to kind of start working on that model a little bit and what I would want it to look like and see if I get any feedback from anybody wanting to do it.
Right. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. Also for business, I want to help you to get author events, you scheduled for author events because you work so many hours every week that you kind of need like a little agent, like secret agent man, secret Agent man. Anyway, so I want to try to...
I'm not going to sing back, but that is super awesome that you want to do that to help me. I do appreciate it. I think, I feel confident as a writer. I don't know that I'm the best at marketing and event planning and things like that. I've been trying to get that Barnes & Noble book signing together. I've made friends with the staff and the manager there, but I haven't done all the things I need to do to actually get in there yet.
Yeah, so hopefully you can get a little help from this lady
I
right
appreciate
here.
It. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you.
And then my personal goals, well, a lot of that has to do with health and wellness. So I'm a health and wellness coach. I need to really start walking the talk because I've been a little slack. Now, my exercise has been affected because of the ongoing little hip issue that I have here. But we are going to do what we need to increase the strength in that area and hopefully be able to get back to exercising regularly and not being in pain when I do it. And then I want to just strengthen and tone and get back on track as far as my diet.
I get it. Totally.
That's it for me. I mean, I have some other ones, but we're going to do a vision board together and have in our studio. So we will add things to that, I think, throughout the year as we have other things that we want to kind of focus on.
I think it'd be great. And I think it would also help encourage guests when they're here if they want to do that kind of thing. Yeah. Because, I've never really been into it, but I have recently read about some of the most successful people in business have done some form of that. So something about the visual.
Seeing it every day, like like it could be a little figurine of something you want to purchase, or it could be something as simple as that. Or,
but I think the manifestation happens you by your brain repeatedly seeing that and knowing, oh yeah, that's the goal, over and over. So I do like that. Those are great. In the spirit of what we talked about prior to starting the show here, I did 3 as well. I did 1 for the podcast, and this is going to sound so cliche and corny, but I really want to help more people with the podcast. I know we say that all the time, but to me, that comes in the form of getting more involved not more involved really, but getting involved with more organizations that are helping people. We can only do that by growing our audience. I would like to see us helping local charities, as we've been doing, but more local businesses, individuals, artists, etc. And that's been happening organically throughout this year as our audience has been growing. But my big goal with the show is to grow the audience and use the larger audience to get more involved with more organizations, more people, more businesses, and just help across the board. I'd love at the end of the year for you and I to be able to step back and go, look how many people that we helped this year. Yeah. Like we went and donated our time here. We donated money there. We helped to build a crowd to come to this thing, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I love it.
I do too. So that's my goal for the podcast.
Okay.
My business goals are, I have my day job and I guess for my day job, I don't want to bore everyone to death with what my goals would be as it relates to my day job because it's more around technical specifics of software and support and things like that. On my personal business side, let's call it, my goals are, a couple of them are sort of close range goals, like get the updated covers out for my first 2 books. That's something that I plan on doing within the next few weeks. The Barnes & Noble book signing thing I've been talking about. Also, I'm committed to completing and releasing my 3rd novel, and I've changed my mind a few times on what that's going to be. The 3-part teenage novel story that I have been working on, I don't think that's going to be my next novel. I've now committed to a thriller novel again. This will be my 3rd one. It's called Digital Twin. I recently announced it on my social media, but my big goal on the business side for this year is going to be to get that novel completed in 1 year and get it out.
Well, you did it within the dark, so you can do it.
I think so. And that goal, so that, we talk about SMART goals and what's measurable, all of those things are measurable so
very
far.
Much so.
The one about growing our audience with a podcast, I do want to sit down and write what is what are the numbers that I'm targeting. And
oh, okay. That's because then we can measure, right?
Yes, yeah. And there's an app that I haven't started using yet, but I have installed. I read a lot of good things about it, but it's called Thrive, and it has 3 categories: goals, ideas, and decisions. And supposedly it helps to make sure that you are measuring your actions as it relates to what are you doing to accomplish the goal. If you didn't do anything today, you're not really accomplishing the goal. What's your target and what are you doing to make that happen? Because we have a tendency to talk about goals as people for a long time without ever taking real steps to complete them.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it sometimes too.
That's why you've got to write it down.
Right. My last category here of my sort of New Year's resolutions are personal, just like yours, but I'm going to cut sugar out of my diet. That's a pretty easy to measure goal. We did this early last year. We drifted.
We were very strict, though.
I think that's why I drifted, though, because I feel like when you make such an extreme change to your diet, and we did it for good reason, but it makes it hard to stick to it, and I miss so many things. Yeah. So I feel like cutting sugar is a little bit of an easier one for me. Now, it's not easy.
It's not.
I would challenge you listeners out there, if you don't realize just how addictive sugar is, try quitting sugar, anything with sugar in it for 2 weeks. You'll get headaches. You basically get withdrawals. And I am not one to preach. You live your life the way you want to live your life. If you want to eat sugar, go for it. I'm not judging. I'm not preaching. I have a sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I love baked goods. I'll live vicariously through you. But so much research has shown that sugar is the devil, basically. It causes all kinds of health problems. And
inflammation being one of the biggest things.
Ones.
And inflammation can lead to cancer and so many other health issues.
Right, exactly. So that's my big goal personally, is to cut sugar. Day one, I haven't had any today. I was so tempted with those fresh baked chocolate chip cookies over at my mom's, and I did not eat any. It was hard.
Yeah. And, we can speak from experience with the whole addiction thing, because remember when we cut last year, my detox was even worse than yours.
Yeah.
I felt like I had the flu.
Yeah.
I had muscle cramps. I had that migraine for like 2 days that I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And that was a sugar detox. It was bad.
It reminds me of when I quit smoking, because there are times we're all end of the day, at night, after dinner, everybody hits the couch, we're watching TV, and I feel a craving come over me. And I think most of us just go get something out of the pantry in life. You don't realize how much your body is making you do that.
Yeah, those little organisms that live inside us and tell our body what to do.
Oh, it's crazy. But anyway, so that's my personal goal. Also, this is not as measurable. That's why I don't like saying it. But in my head, I know I'd like to be more focused on eating healthy foods. So when we did this last time, it's hard to say it in a measurable way, but a lot of the times when we're at a restaurant, I will pick no pasta or no carbs, but I'll do vegetables, which I guess have carbs in them in a different way. I stay away from what my brain automatically knows are the things that aren't as good. So I'm sort of programming my brain to try to make more healthy choices, and I am committed to exercising more than I do, which has been all but none lately, but I really want to get back out on my bicycle. And, when winter comes and you and I can't go kayaking because it's cold, I should be hitting the bike to fill that gap until we get back to the warmer months.
And I think it, especially like this past however long where I've been, feeling it when I go for a bike ride, you tend to not go because we do that together.
Sure.
But you've got to do it.
And I will. And, I used to do this thing where I put my headphones on. Now I'll put my brand new AirPods Pro on.
Oh, yes, you will.
And you just disappear into my music for 2.5 hours. It was almost a sort of a meditation kind of thing for me, where I'm just lost in it, doing the thing. And that's a very individual kind of thing. You can't do that as a group. So it's a different thing, and I want to get back to doing that.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, when you're biking, you can't really talk anyway.
I can't, because I'm like, well, so, hey.
It's like jogging and talking.
Right.
Like, what's the sense? Or people on walks and they're on their phone the whole time. You're really not concentrating.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, we'd be curious to hear what your what your goals are. So feel free to send us an email or give us a call. feedback@fineanddanjee.com. That's FINEANDDANJEE. Or you can call us at 407-519-0515. We're going to continue to have some guests this month that kind of coincide with the New Year's.
Yeah, but most of them are goals as far as fitness.
Sure.
Right? We have some local gyms and camps that will be coming on. We also have 2 wonderful women coming on that have some very inspirational stories about goals that they've set and achieved.
Yes.
And of course, we'll talk with them a little more about the goals they have for this year.
Indeed. So we encourage you guys to stay tuned this month. And, if you're kind of struggling on trying to figure out what you think you should be doing to make change, maybe some of these conversations will help, even if it's not exactly the same goal that you're shooting for.
Yeah. And if you're trying to cut sugar out and you have not seen the documentary, That Sugar Film, highly, highly recommend that you watch this documentary.
I love it. I think it's on Netflix now, but it's called That Sugar Film, which is a weird name, but it's literally those 3 words, That Sugar Film.
And it is amazing, and it will be eye-opening to you. And it's entertaining, too, is what I liked about it.
It's really well done, but
Yes.
It's one of those movies that, I got to warn you, if you really want to learn and you see this movie, you're not going to want to eat sugar after you see this. And it's, you can do the research. I'm one of these people that will go look this stuff up to see if they're kind of trying to skew you. And these are facts. And these are scary facts.
But what's funny is even though we've watched this film and then we reverted back, it shows you the power of
sugar.
Sugar, not only sugar, but we've talked about the gut and how you have good bacteria and bad bacteria. It shows you how these are advanced microorganisms that can control taste buds or, control your body in some way that you don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah.
So you have to be the smarter of the 2.
You really do. And I will admit there are parts of the film that really sort of dig into, the evil corporations that are pumping sugar into you and how much of that is sort of conjecture or drama, I don't know. But what's important to know is what it's doing to your body.
That's
and they
right.
give examples of several cultures where once sugar was introduced, this refined sugar, and let's be clear, we're talking about, sometimes I tell people, I don't eat sugar early this year, and then I'm eating an apple, and they're like, wasn't there sugar in that? I'm talking about refined and processed sugar.
High fructose corn syrup. Come on, people. The unhealthy
packets
stuff.
of sugar, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
That, cereal that's got sugar
Processed
in it.
foods.
Yeah.
They're loaded with it.
Right. But, fruits and vegetables and things like that may have some form of natural sugar in it is a totally different thing.
It also have all the other good stuff for you, too, though.
Exactly.
Fiber and nutrients and minerals.
Right.
Vitamins.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because that is a really good movie and it's a really good start.
Yeah, it's a great one.
It is.
Guys, we just appreciate you listening to us each and every time, even if you only listen to us one time. We appreciate it.
We really do.
Because we love doing this so much and we look forward to what 2020 brings us.
Brings you.
And brings you. That's right. But please, if you listen and you loved the show, subscribe. But give us a rating and a review if you have the time. We would really appreciate it. It helps kind of move our podcast up in the list of who to listen to.
Yeah, it does.
And, you can call us anytime just to leave us a voicemail. Please let us know if we can play your voicemail on one of the shows because we would love to let others hear about what you have to say.
Sure.
You can call us at 407-519-0515, or you can also email us at feedback@fineanddanjee.com.
That's right. And now that we're in 2020 and we're talking about our 2020 goals, as you're going through that process and maybe you're struggling or maybe it's easy for you, whatever the case may be, just remember at the end of every day,
it's all fine and dandy.
A quarter is a 1/4 of a year. So a quarter is a quarter is 3 months.
Okay, so then I would need 4 events in a year if I wanted it to be every quarter.
Yeah, I think 3 is a good target.
I think 3 is a good target. Because I just sound so stupid. My goal is to learn basic math.
So stupid. Let's get back to it.